All right. Good morning, guys. Good morning. We got Mitch here. We might have an echo. Hold on, let me mute this. There we go. All right, guys. Hope everyone's having a good morning. Watching a few stocks today. Let's see. We have IGC. Not gapping up, but it's moving some, and it's moved a lot the last few days. And so we'll see if it rebounds some today, possibly. I'm still looking at PBR, which is one I was watching yesterday. This one is still up from around the $14 level. It's up to $15.50 now, and its highs are $16.08. Keep an eye on that one. We have PYX gapping up from $38.52 to $45.58. We have AMTX gapping up a small amount from 135 to 160. We have GEVO. And GEVO is a former runner. I remember trading this one about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. You can see earlier this year it spiked all the way to 24.74, so it is a former runner. Looking at NIO, gapping up from 604 to 620. We have NBEV gapping down some, but I'm still watching it just because it's moving a decent amount. One that Mitch brought up was I. It looks a little extended on the daily. If you look at the daily, I think it may pull back some eventually, and so that's one that we're watching. See if I could find anything else in this market right now. Yeah, that's about the same for me. Cool. I'm always watching IGC and NBEV. So we'll see if we get some decent movers today. Maybe we might get a few more that spike up before the open as well. But yeah, we had our first class yesterday. I think it went well. Really enjoyed doing it. Tonight we have risk reward and risk reward management tonight. So that's a class I'm excited about.
Oh yeah, man. Last night was really fun. It was something I was really proud to go ahead and lead the team, and I'm pretty sure we broke down a lot of early morning watch lists and how you really set up
Yeah.
and really lead your morning. You know, it's your first hour of the day, and you got to set it up right. Find the stocks that you really want to trade, and we really broke it down so that you could get to those stocks without us.
Yeah.
One of the key things we're trying to teach you is to be self-sufficient and not really even rely on us.
Yeah, exactly.
And the classes are recorded.
Yeah, I posted them on the member Discord. So yeah, no stress, Frio. You should be able to go to the member Discord and see it.
Good morning, Live Gains. Good morning, Trading Monkey. Javier, Juguetes, Paul Beckman. We got Maria. Maria here nice and early.
Yeah.
And I'm really impressed on Missouri. Missouri over here at 7:17 a.m.
Yeah,
talking
man.
about good morning.
He's always the first one here, man. Every morning when I load up the stream, I always see his comment. So he's always the early bird in the morning, man. So
Hey, I always say, the early worm gets the bird
we have
because he
two
woke
things.
up a little early.
Yeah, for sure. We have two things that always happen in the morning. First one is Missouri is always the first comment. Second one is Juguetes is always asking for the list. And I always, I get it though. I always try to help Juguetes out, hook him up with the list early. So no stress. He
Hey,
keeps me on
live
my game.
gains. Live gains. The reason we don't have a Discord for non-members is because we're trying to bring everyone together on a 24-hour basis. This is where we can go ahead and just kind of update you throughout the day, stocks that we're looking at, watch list at night, certain things like that. We're putting early gappers lists, things that can, really help traders. So don't be afraid, man. Come and join us.
MNGA.
Definitely enough value. And we're here to help you.
Yeah, realistically, our classes are like, depending on when they signed up, it's either $1 a class or $2 a class. And so they're pretty cheap, I would say. Really, I'm excited. Like, we got the watch list one out the way. I thought that was important. I'm excited to go towards the risk reward management one. I think that one's going to be really beneficial. Thursday, we're doing the back testing the back testing one, which is going to be one that I'm leading in, and that's the one I'm really excited for that one as well. So it should be good, man. I was excited. I think Mitch did a good job last night for the watch list one.
Yeah, it was definitely fun.
Just drinking my coffee, trying to wake up a little bit, but yeah, MNGA gapping up some. It kind of falls outside of my niche of what I trade, but it is moving some. It's gapping up a decent amount from 38.5 to 45.5. So just gonna keep looking. PBR, probably watching one of the same ones I did yesterday. Oh, you're AC, Carl. Okay, I was wondering, honestly, Carl, I was worried that you missed it because I know we had a few signups yesterday, and I couldn't tell who was who because a lot of them had different names, and so it's good to see you made it, man. But yeah,
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my Chobani. I need some little Greek yogurt. Get me going.
yeah. I can't eat in the mornings, man. I force myself to, but I hate eating in the mornings.
Oh, the Brogen. Frio's talking about Brogen.
Oh yeah, OGEN, and this is one we went over yesterday in class. Like Mitch and I were saying, if you look at the daily on OGEN, this is like a shorter's heaven, man. You know,
the word is atrocious.
Right. Look at this thing. Every time it spikes, every single time for the last year, it spikes up in any significant way. It comes right back down, big up wicks, meaning it came back down fast, and so I don't think this one's tradable, but it's like a shorter's paradise in here. You know, with OGEN, just because, I mean, every time it spikes, shorters are piling in there, and you can just look at the daily chart and just see how long these upwicks are, and just realize, like, every single time this thing spikes, it comes right back down, usually within the same day. What's up, awesome channel? AGRX.
Hey.
Yeah, AGRX spiking up some as well. FNGN is another one that I'm kind of going to keep an eye on. I don't know if this one's tradable. Let's see if it is or not. No, it is not, unfortunately, but we got a few options. We got Pizza, PZZA, Papa John's gapping up some. Got a little bit of a gap to fill here from about 54 down to really about 50. Or really about 50, 60. So we got about $3.50 to fill. 3.5 maybe, so got a little bit of room. Let's see. What's up, Freddie? So limit orders are tough. They're tough to get filled before the market opens, man. I don't know if you hear me or if you were just in the other one, but he's asking about limit orders in pre-market is what I'm guessing. And I mean, I would say you want to use limit orders in pre-market just because if you use a market order, there's no telling where you're going to get filled at. And so I think you do, they work just like any other order, except it's harder to get filled because the volume isn't quite as good as it would be at the open. You know what I mean? The volume's not there as much. Mitch, look at your text messages, man. It's cool, bro, but yeah. But anyways, yeah, so looking at IGC, NBEV, PBR, really, I've been kind of watching these same stocks for about the last, a few weeks, how much? IGC and NBEV specifically. And so, these have bbeen moving a decent amount every day. A lot of people are watching them, so typically they've been moving a lot. Papa John's is PZZA. It's down a lot from its highs in pre-market. Its highs are right around $60, just under 60. And so, gonna look to see if it may fill this gap. It's a little bit higher float of a stock, and so, I don't know how much it's going to be able to fill this gap, but we'll see. I'm going to watch it regardless. But yeah, looking at PBR from yesterday. Right now it's about break even in after hours, but like I said, this is probably one of my main watches just because it's up a decent amount from its yesterday move from when it opened up at around 14 and it's up to 15.44. And so it's up some, not quite 10%, but close. Also, another one I've been watching a lot lately, AMRN. Let's see the daily on this one. AMRN, I mean, I think this one's going to come back down eventually, but who knows? Every time I say that, it continues to push up. You could see just in September, this thing was at $3, and now it's at almost 20. And so, just waiting for those first few moves. It had a red day yesterday. And so for the first time in a while. And so we'll see if it continues and heads back down. That's one I'm definitely watching for sure. There's a few I can't trade, but no stress. PYX, if you guys can trade them, you can still watch them, which is PYX, which is gapping up from 38.52. AMTX, gapping up from 135 to 156. GIVO, like I mentioned earlier, gapping up from 440 to 490. Want to see a little bit more volume with GIVO though. It's moving some. A lot of people are watching it, but I do want to see some more volume. PEIX gapping up from just under 270 at 269 to $3 even where it's sitting now. YGYI gapping up some. Needs more volume though for me at least. KOPN needs some more volume. HELE gapping up some, still needs some more volume. More volume though. MTBC. Let's see, AFMD gapping down some. Yeah, look at AFMD, man. That one's gapping down from 463 to 339. Went as low as 306. PTEI, EBR has a little bit of a gap to fill. I'm kind of watching EBR here, just because it has a little bit of a gap to fill. If you could see this chart, it does have this gap between about 490 up to really $5, probably up to 540s, and so it may have this gap to fill. Gonna watch it under these levels here, specifically under 450 is probably the biggest level to watch for this one. So gonna see if it fills this gap right here. It gives me good risk to reward when it does that. But it's enough for me to watch it. And so yeah, that's really what I'm watching today. Not too much action, but just gotta stay patient. We'll find something.
You can add AMRN between a range of, I got a bottom of 1838 or 1842 to be exact, and then I have a resistance from that prior run a couple days back. I have a high of 1918. That's where I wanted to see get past, so like on the long side. But if it rejects that and gets below this 1842, I'll definitely look for that breakdown there.
Yeah, for sure. I did mention that one, but that's what I said. It's this one. If you look at the daily chart is ridiculous on this one. I mean, it definitely looks overbought, but every time I say that, this thing continues to run. So we'll see. This is the first time it's had 2 red days in a row, though. If you look at the daily chart, the most it's had was 1 red day. The last red day before these last 2 was on the 1st, so a little bit over a week ago. and this is the first time it's had 2 red days in a row, and so I'm curious to see what this one does. I like those levels though, between 1918 and 1842. So yeah, I'll for sure watch that one as well. NVAX popping up on the scanner. Not really enough action for that one. AZUL looks interesting. AZUL. It looks a little extended on the intraday chart. I'll have to look at the daily. Not really super extended on the daily, but if it gets rejected around this $21 level, that's enough for me to watch it. If it gets under here or here, 2050. Good morning, Ludwig. We got Adelie trolling some. She said, last night's class was cool. Mitch revealing he was a pro trader with 20 years experience if you missed it. Eric, Sonic is kind of like the neighborhood troll as well. And so he might be being serious, but he also might just he might just be trolling people. So just a heads up. That's nothing, man. I've been trading since I was 5, you know.
Hey, swag. I'm pulling out my Lunchables and my iPad and trading some Apple, you know.
I still eat Lunchables, man. My wife makes fun of me for it. Lunchables are good, dude. The thing about having kids, though, man, is that you have a constant source of food. You know what I mean? Because, like, we have to keep the house stocked for the kids. And so it's like, I eat their Lunchables, you know. They have these little yogurt bites for kids that were super good when Jack was a baby, when my son was a baby. So, yeah.
Yeah, my new breakfast favorite has become these Chobani flips. Greek yogurt. I can't really eat that much in the morning, so
Yeah, me neither.
at least let me eat, get something in my stomach.
Yeah,
It gives me some protein, you know,
Ye-
mental food.
yeah, I have to force myself to eat in the morning. But it's weird. It's like if I don't eat, I get really like moody, but if I try to eat, I have to force it down. Hey man, I respect that decision, Eric. You know, kids are tough, bro.
Yeah, it's a tough world, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell you one thing, we got a lot more money in this area.
Right, 100%. You know, we make it work, but man, kids are tough. The biggest thing that gets me with kids is just the lack of sleep, specifically when they're low or when they're young. All right, so main watches PEIX looks decent. It's gapping up from just under 270 to about 3. Volume looks good, and I like the movement in pre. Yeah, my daughter is always trying to get on my computer live. Just because I have these 3 monitors, and so to my daughter it looks like really cool to her, and so she's always trying to like play on it, you know, and mess with my computer. I don't let her a lot of the times, but sometimes I do. It just depends. I don't want her starting the stream up, you know.
All right, IGC is approaching my important price of the morning, guys. Here, right there, 550s getting hit now. And there's some big volume getting in there, guys. Think about an average of like 10,000 shares just went through there. About 4 repetitive orders at 560s, 2,000 shares.
Yeah, it's starting
Definitely
to
getting
tank.
hit hard.
Yeah, this 550 level is important too.
Very big, important. If you look back, kind of ran there and yesterday around 9:33. So we're gonna see if it's gonna come down all the way to this 527. That would be the next level to watch. 527s. And there it goes. There she goes,
Yeah,
tanking below that.
542. We'll see if it turns into resistance at this point. PBR is still spiking up though. The important level with this one is this 1560 level. Kind of where I was watching it yesterday.
Yeah, this PBR is going to be really interesting. One of the key things that I think is about this stock is if you look at the volume and the daily chart, this stock made a huge down move, then has slowly made its way back, and it has resistance up there at 1663. So you got to be careful with this stock, as this stock has made jumps both ways.
Right.
Um,
So we can do it again.
Yeah, exactly, both ways. So one of the key things is it going to get above these 560s here? And then what's really going to be the determinant factor, I think, in this stock, if it's going to go long today, it's going to be a matter if it can get past this 1574. I think up here was holding a support yesterday, and we're going to see if it's going to get back up there and try 16s today. I would actually like it to keep trying to push, then maybe rejecting hard up here in the 65s, and then trying to make its move back down to those 1540s. Yesterday we did get a daily low of about 1504, 1505 there.
Yep.
And so what we're going to need for this stock to do is it reject the top of the range here, which is in the 1560s, and then come making its way back down to these first support there at 1533. Second support, I would attack that daily low of yesterday. IGC bouncing and holding resistance there at that 1550 or that 550 that was a support.
Yeah, let's see if it turns into resistance there.
Yeah, that's what it's doing right now. It's rejecting it a couple times. Let's see if it just slams through or if it can get back above it.
Yeah, interesting level to watch. You know, with a short, I mean, if it hovers around here and looks good for a short, I really only like it down to 475, just for the low of yesterday. But if it cracks that and gets down to 4 and breaks that, it could be interesting in the next few days, especially if it breaks under 4. That's the low of... This thing just has a terrible daily chart, though, man. If you look at the daily chart, IGC is just getting just terrible. I mean, it could bounce at 4, we'll see, but this thing went up to 1460. And it's something we mentioned yesterday in our class. Is that most of the time when you see these big parabolic runners that go up, you know, in this case, man, this thing went up like 3,000%. It came right back down, and this is very common with a lot of these parabolic movers. They spike up, and then they just kind of slowly fade back down. Everybody kind of forgets about them, and they come back down. So definitely watching that one. See if it can continue falling here. It broke over that 550 level, though. It's at 554, but we'll see. It does have some resistance at 560 now as well from that previous flag and pre-market, so... Yeah, ITUB. I'm watching ITUB as well.
Yeah, me too. Definitely going to keep an eye on ITUB. Made a great trade on it yesterday, guys. Was able to close down really close to the bottom of that, guys. I closed at 13.12 yesterday. If you see on the chart, that's perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't have the most volume in pre-market, but it's still a little extended from yesterday. I really liked the fade yesterday. The fade looked good that you traded. And so it does have some support at 13. Really, I'm watching it over 13 to see if it can fill some of that gap if you look at it. It's got this gap here under around 13, maybe down to 12.25 or so. Is what free? Awesome. Is the strategy section on our site? Yeah, it's free. The strategy section is. All right.
All right, guys. It seems like today is not Well, it's what I call more of a scanner day. Seeing as we can't trade the top gappers today, what we're going to do is more pay attention to these top stocks that have been moving these last couple of weeks. Really pay attention to our important levels. Be patient like we were yesterday, and really find the stock that we want to go ahead and go after, nail it, and get on out of here.
Yes, sir. And I'm not right. I mean, honestly, my puts served me pretty well. I actually profited on both of these put options that I had on Robinhood for TRVG. I ended up selling my NEPT put a while back, but still holding on to TRVG. I'll probably sell it today for a tiny profit, but I'll take it, up on my Robinhood account since I started it. So we'll see what TRVG does. I still got about, what is that? Let me see.
Do
I've
you
got 10
remember?
days.
Do you remember we were watching I all the way back in May when it was down at $13? If
Yeah.
you look at I mean, look at that thing, man. $32. The daily chart is ridiculous. It just kind of stair steps all the way from like $4.
From 244, man. It was at
It's
244 in February.
and it's a good stock. If you look at the fundamentals are actually there. I actually looked really deep into I back when it was in $10. And this stock, what it does is it makes me really, really start being able to signify what's good fundamentals for a small cap stock. And this stock was actually really making money. I think that's why the daily chart and investors have just been supporting it constantly, you know. And it's not like Sogo. Remember Sogo?
Yeah,
Look at
yeah, I
that
remember
daily.
that one.
Look at that daily. What happened to that stock? And it made some beautiful VWAP fades. We just missed it on the way down, but
Yeah, it's something that, like VKTX is another one that has been fading a lot lately. And the key with it is, like we mentioned yesterday, is that it was in a downward trend in the last month or so, a little bit under a month in the last 3 weeks. It's just been in a downward trend, and so because
another
of that,
stock that did this kind of run is here.
oh
Look
yeah,
at here.
here is crazy, man. Here is Turtle Beach. I have some Turtle Beach headphones. It kind of calmed down a little bit from when it first started going crazy, but man, from 164 up to 1783 now, went all the way as high as 3450. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, the fundamentals are probably solid with it, or at least were. I don't know about here, but the daily chart seems that way.
Yeah, you can really start breaking down stocks for longer plays. One of the things I really want to do eventually, guys, is start kind of doing a little bit more swing trading, especially because I can't trade every day and I miss some days. I might just start opening a Robinhood account, running a little bit of some swing trades, and maybe we can start working some strategies on that for our website so you guys can start learning and adapting for you swing traders out there.
Yeah, I mean, I've only had a few, like, there's three strategies I really have used for swing trading. One of them is a short strategy, so all I can really do is witness it. I can't really, trade it. But they're very simple strategies. I've had mixed results with them thus far, but one of the strategies I really want to get into with swing trading is just taking advantage of some of these parabolic faders. Stocks that run up 2, 3, 400%, and then just slowly come back down after everybody forgets about them. Hold it for a few weeks, let it come back down, give yourself a decent stop loss. I think that could be a profitable way to swing trade. Um, and so I want to start swing trading as well. I need to find a broker that is going to let me short. I want to be able to short with cheap commissions. Really, I'm looking at a few for swing trading. If I deposit, I know Webull will allow me to short if I deposit over 2K. I think. Appreciate the sub, Trey. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it, man. Why did tops go from 1,000 to 9,900,000? Most likely a split or an offering. I mean, no, this move actually happened on tops on TOPS. It went to 35.50 and came back down. It's a shipping company. Last year, it was last year, right, Mitch, when the shipping stocks went crazy. They had
Actually, well,
TOPS.
yeah, last year they went crazy again, but it was actually 2 years ago where they
Right.
originally went insane. This is when I actually first started trading.
Right. What was the
This is
one
when
that
I
went
was able
crazy?
to, well, you got Dries, you
Dries.
got
Dries was it.
DCIX.
Yeah, DCIX did too. But Dries, I watched Dries. The first kind of introduction I had to day trading in general was 2 years ago when Dries kind of skyrocketed up. It went from like $4 up to like 110, and then immediately went back down to like $10 or $5. It was crazy.
This is the only stock that I'm not gonna lie, it made me feel like a guru my first week in trading. Because I was there in my finance class, even talking about this stock and how these stocks are going crazy and how I was thinking about trading them the following day. And I found even EGLX and a couple other ones that still hadn't moved, like Ship.
Yeah,
Ship was also
SHIP.
one.
I remember that one.
Yeah, and they hadn't moved. They were laggers in the industry. And I went and I found every single lagger in the industry and traded it the following day.
Those
Called
sympathy
it out.
plays.
Yeah, called it out from the day before. And man, did I look smart the next day. Stocks went up more than like 500, 700%.
Hey,
Yeah,
Abby.
it was like, wow.
Abby, shout out to Abby with the $20 super chat. Really means a lot, Abby. Hey, we really, really appreciate it. That's awesome.
Hey, that's what we're here for, Abby. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, that's great. Appreciate it. That's awesome. Appreciate the
No,
support.
but what it really taught me was that really, you have to really look at different stocks. Same thing happened with CGC, IGC, Cron, TLRY. These stocks started making moves. Just because one industry starts making a move, sympathy plays start going in there. Stocks come out with anything that's related to the industry, and they start getting a boost. When we had the cryptocurrencies, we had people coming out with changing their name to anything that had bit in it, and next thing you know, their stock was going crazy. What was the stock that went absolutely crazy? I think it was Kodak. Kodak just brought out an idea that they were going to come out with a coin, and we all know Kodak as a film producer and camera producer. And they said
Right.
just by bringing that news out that they were going to bring a coin, their stock ended up rocketing up to the moon for no reason at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
Just basically releasing news out in a hot sector.
yeah, I mean that's kind of the hot sector last year. Or it was last year and earlier this year. The crypto sector. It kind of calmed down some as Bitcoin and everything kind of calmed down a little bit. It was kind of I don't know if it was a fad or what, but I know earlier this year we had a lot of crypto stocks like what MARA, TEUM. Man, there's a bunch of them.
Riot.
Riot, yeah, Riot.
Riot was one of the best.
Riot was just a terrible stock, and everybody knew it. Everybody knew this thing was terrible. Everybody knew the earnings were bad, and you can just see. I mean,
DPW.
yeah, DPW as well. I remember that one too. And it's these kind of waves in the different sectors happen. Like currently, we're in the cannabis wave where you see IGC, NBEV, TLRY, CGC, and all these cannabis stocks kind of going crazy. Everybody's focusing on them. But it goes through waves. Like we said, 2 years ago, it was the shipping sector. Earlier this year, it was the crypto sector. Right now, it's the cannabis sector. And so you get these different sectors that just kind of go crazy. They get a lot of hype. And, companies start putting out press releases, related to that sector, making the stock get pumped up more and more. So it's kind of the way the market lives to a certain extent.
Nate's bringing up Bitcoin. Yeah, I've actually been looking into Bitcoin lately. I'm feeling, at least on the daily chart, it's starting to finally really create supports from its last drive. It's actually something on my mind of getting into. One of the key things is I always say that, you can't, with something like Bitcoin, it got way too herdy where everyone was just buying it, buying it, buying it, buying it, buying it. And then there was no levels that you could really go off of.
Right.
But now that it's made its move down, we've always now we actually have levels to go off of.
Right, and that's what I was waiting for. There was no way I was gonna buy it in the 20,000s, like where it was. Um,
I
but
made some really good money on it, getting it down at 10,000, selling it up at 17. But at the end of the day, I always knew that this was kind of just flip a hat, and I would always take out whenever I made like 30 or 40%.
yeah,
Take out a little bit.
that's probably the smart way to approach it. AGRX market opens up in 1 minute. AGRX spiking up. Frio mentioned it. Moving up. What is this? About 40% in pre-market. Or no, it's way more than that. Sorry, almost 100% in pre-market. So interesting here for AGRX. I doubt it's tradable. I'll look at it on Robinhood. But I'm curious to see if it tests $1. I think that's the big level to watch if it breaks $1 and keeps moving. And so that's definitely one that I'll keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah,
just for Robinhood.
Watching MBEV also.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always watching NBEV. At least I have been in the last few weeks. But yeah, market opens up in about 15 seconds, guys. So shout out to Abby again for that $20 super chat. Means a lot, Abby. Really appreciate the support. Like I said, if you ever need help with anything, just reach out to us. We'll help you. All right, here's the bell. All right, so we got AMRN coming back down, testing those pre-market levels here, Mitch. It's testing the low of pre-market for AMRN.
Yep, it's getting through my support there at 41s. Would like it to get to
Same
about
thing with
817. 817 is that next level.
Same thing with IGC. Look at IGC Tank.
Yeah, IGC went right through that level, guys, that we were talking about pre-market.
All right, there goes AGRX testing $1. It got up to 107. We'll see if it can hold over $1 for AGRX.
I'm really watching MBEV here. I really like that move at the open. There's a lot of shorters stuck in this right now. I would like it to reverse, make an attempt to $7 and fail hard. Then I'd get short.
All right, so yeah, looking at IGC as well. NBEV pulling back to the VWAP, but it's too close to the high of the day. So for that reason, don't like it now. We'll see if it does what Mitch said, which is go up to 7 and then get rejected.
Yeah, we need to see that rejection of 7 first, guys. Just too many shorters are already stuck in this stock. I can tell you that right off the back.
We got AMRN maybe pulling back to the VWAP right here. Doesn't look bad, honestly. It's got some support here from pre-market around 1850. We'll see if it holds there. If it breaks out, looks like a washout long at this point. And, it was gapping down, which doesn't means it's not an A+ setup. Would be like a B- setup with this fade down here. Just because, there's a few things I want to see with the fade. One of them is overextension on the upside, and I just don't see that with AMRN and pre-market this morning. So we'll see. It's testing those highs now. IGC back up to 15 or to 520s, 530s. ITB kind of washing out some on low volume. Big level to watch is 1320s, 1315 for ITB. Looking at I here. It's kind of pushing up to around the VWAP level.
Yeah, it hasn't broken the support to me. The support is right underneath it, 25s. It needs to break those hard, get down to 32s, 04, 03.
On I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just bouncing off the support there, so you don't want to take it now. You need to let it break that support.
IGC, I could see IGC getting rejected here. It has a lot of resistance at 540s. And so you get in here, you could set your risk at about 540, 541. Reward would be down to 5, so not bad.
A lot of volume for this MBEV. I've actually changed my time and shares. Time and sales only show me 3,000 and above on my high shares one. It's interesting here in the 82s, but this is, in my sense, too early, too fast. Hasn't been doing anything, and you don't want to just go ahead and try to jump into something just because it kind of looks good, but isn't really looking good yet. It hasn't really made a defined move yet.
IGC faded off the VWAP nicely. And that's what I said. I think it had a lot of resistance at that 540 level, and so it just got smacked back down here.
Yeah, it's one of those I don't really see an entry at least there.
No, not right now. It would be up maybe at 530s is where I'd like the entry to be, but too late now. Yeah, I'm watching AGRX. It's testing the whole dollar. It's sitting at 98 now at this point. Yeah, beautiful little fade on IGC. Kind of bummed out I missed it right here, but no stress. This would have been where my entry would have been up here. Just faded a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, if MBEV just crashes here through 680s, guys, so be it. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to stay disciplined to what I originally thought, and that's a fake out 10-7. If this just fades right here, so be it.
Beautiful fade on IGC. Beautiful fade. Really tight risk area. Like if you look at it, the risk in this trade would be up to these 540s. So you could set a very tight risk. It's right around the high of the day, but it also has so much resistance and support here from before. That beautiful little fade, big down move, pull back to the VWAP and fade it back down. Just missed it.
Oh, look at Tiva. That was interesting there at the 2133s.
Yeah.
Just missed it.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at ITUB now as well. AMRN is spiking up here. It's running. What did PBR end up doing? PBR is starting to look interesting here. If it continues to fade back down under these lows, I wouldn't enter it here just because the risk to reward wouldn't be there, but it's still worth it to watch. There goes NBEV fading off the VWAP.
Yeah, it was really close there. I was interested maybe there at 86, but it was just too early, guys. I definitely thought it could test that 7, and if it tests 7, it could rip through. Next thing you know, I'm down 30 cents. Right. And I didn't really see 40-cent potential here, so don't want to take that trade. As it gets smacked down there, guys.
There it goes, down to 660.
And it looked good. It has a bearish. Yeah. There's a bear flag there, pre-market. But the real key was if it was going to make an attempt to 7 again, it just didn't want to go up there. I know after it held 2 or 3 candles, I was kind of interested there in the 84s. But the risk is all the way up at 7, 20-cent risk.
Yeah, I'm looking at
a potential 20-cent gain.
At this point, I'm looking at IGC to see if it pulls back to the VWAP. If it gets up to 526, risk level could be 540s.
ITUV looked good.
Yeah, that's what.
Just missed that a little bit. Let's see if this can get back up.
Yeah, it's got to. I think ITUB has to crack under that support it has at 1318 first, which it's kind of doing now. So we'll see.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd like to see a little drive to 310.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, appreciate the heads up, Abby. Yeah, let me load the intraday. There you go. Forgot about the intraday scan there. Yeah, AGRX having trouble at 1. There goes Tiva.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was looking at it. It was just, this wasn't on my main chart, so I missed the part of the move when it bounced up. Only saw it down at 26 there. Givo going off on the momentum scanner. We also got PEIX.
Yeah, PEIX broke over the VWAP. Looking for that bounce maybe. But yeah, look at NBEV, went right back down to that 650 level. It's a very obvious risk or price target. And also looking at PBR, see if it pulls back to that 1540 level. PEIX. Big pullback on PEIX.
My today's movers, I have AGRX and TRVN.
Yeah, AGRX finally cracked over 1. It's at 103 now. Yeah, TRVN rebounding some after a big gap down yesterday, or in pre-market today. But there goes AGRX. It's finally over 1 again. It's at 102. We'll see if it holds there. Appreciate the sub. Paul, appreciate it, brother. Welcome, man. Appreciate it. All right, I'm looking at IGC now. I want to see it get up to that 520s level, setting a risk level of 540. Also, NBEV maybe pulling back to the VWAP here. Looking at NBEV. Just kind of waiting for IGC, PBR, NBEV to really get a bigger move here up to this VWAP level. PBR is just getting tanked here though, just smacked down to 1520s. Kind of takes away my trade idea, but TIVA getting smacked down here some as well. ITUB, a lot of stuff getting hit hard. AGRX is testing those highs. It's at 107 now. It's testing the highs of 110.
Long traders, SCON is getting some momentum there. SCON, SCON.
Whoa, look at NOA. I think it's just getting smacked down. NOA.
Is that tradable?
Let me see. Nope. Unfortunately.
If not, I would attack that 1171 off of 12, guys.
Yeah, I like that. 12 risk. Obvious. Had a lot of support there yesterday. At this point, I'm watching IGC, see if it could spike up a little bit more, give me a better entry here. And NBEV doesn't look that bad. It's up to 670. I might take NBEV here. Alright, I'm in with NBEV with 100 shares. Risk level is about 680, maybe 683. Gonna give it that time.
Where's your entry? 74s?
Yeah, 73.
Good entry. Good
Appreciate
entry.
it. Appreciate it. It's up to 73. Tight risk on it, which is why I like it. Reward's gonna be around 55 for the first profit target. It's up to 77s. My entry was decent enough to where, you know, I can effectively set that 83 level as my risk for about a 10-cent risk.
VT moving really good, guys. Also, for your long traders, we can't trade it, but ooh, VXRT, that was nice.
AGRX couldn't hold. It ended up getting rejected back down. Like I said, I'm just going to hold this to my levels, man. My levels is 83. I'm just going to hold it there. IGC faded a decent amount today. It faded twice so far. There's a decent pullback on NBEV. We'll see if it keeps going here. Kind of look at that TEVA, see if it pulls back and fades. Look at that spike on IGC. And I got to be careful with NBEV because it's in the same sector at this point as well. It's back up to 75s. Look at Tiva, Mitch.
I'm watching it right now. What a miss.
On Tiva? Yeah, man, I saw it.
Took my eye off of it.
I saw it starting to fade. It just spiked quick, man. It spiked so quick.
That annoys me right there. Should have got in there at 29, 28s. Would have been able to risk off of the high day.
Yeah, no stress, man. You know.
I'll let it test again till those 2130s. All right, one that's looking a lot better is AMRN for VWAP rejection. VWAP rejection.
AMRN?
Yeah, I think it just missed it again. Yep. Took my eye off of it when I was watching Tiva. Just missed that one again. That's annoying. That bounce up there to 70s, that's where you're supposed to get in and look at it. Goodbye.
Yeah, there it goes. No stress, man. Don't stress it too much, brother.
Oh, this one gets me annoyed. That one's gonna tank.
NBEV was a fade when I got into it. I got in at 73, which I think was a good entry. The VWAP is around 75 when I got in. I'm just trying to see if it works. Give it a little bit of time here. My risk in this one is 83. Rewards down at 55. And so we'll see if it works out. I'm just going to let it go to my levels. But yeah, look at TEVA. That one's tough, man.
Both of them.
Faded I had nicely.
Both of them. Yeah, this is when I just take my hands off the computer, guys.
PBR. Somebody mentioning PBR. Yeah, look at PBR. I mean, PBR is looking close to a fade there. NBEV is battling the VWAP here.
There goes IGC and Kron. Probably they're at definitely a break it or make it. AMRN. I'm just not even gonna say anything about that.
I missed AMRN. What happened with it?
It was just perfect, perfect VWAP rejection. Daily looks beautiful for it, and it does a VWAP rejection. Should have nailed that. This is what I mean by execution, guys. If you see your trade, take your trade, guys. There's nothing more upsetting than what I'm going through right now.
I mean, in hindsight, it looks good, but VWAP projections historically haven't had the best accuracy anyway, so don't stress it too much, brother. You got it, man. You've been on a good streak. It's better to, not trade than overtrade, IGC starting to spike up, and so with that, I have to watch NBEV since they're in the same sector. Gonna follow my plan though, set that 83 level as my risk for a 10-cent risk.
YGYI. Going absolutely crazy here, guys. YGYI. Getting up there now, 44% on the day.
Yeah, AGRX couldn't hold over $1. It ended up fading back down. TRVN is continuing to push up. It's up from its 92-cent lows. And this is why I always talk about how important the level of extension is in these stocks. Like if you look at TRVN, it looked weak. Or no, TRVN, not TRVG. Yeah, TRVN. You can see how much this thing dropped. And naturally, people are going to be long biased with this one at the open just because it fell so much. It dropped from $3 down to 92 cents. And so when the open happens, this thing just spikes up just because it's down so much already. It's oversold is the word for it. It's oversold, and so people are jumping in long on this one just because it's down so much already. ASNS looks good. Let me look at it. I want to see a little bit more volume with ASNS. That's the only thing that makes me not like it as much. Is just the volume's a little low.
Ooh.
Just being patient with NBEV, giving it that time, see if it fades back down. If it breaks 683, I'll get out for a 10-cent loss. And if not, I'm just going to hold it to my levels. I still haven't had the chance. I saw you sent me that video, Salty. I still haven't had the chance to check it out, brother. But I'll go check it out. I'll watch it after today's stream. AGRX starting to push back up. It's at 98 cents now, or just under 98. It's right around 97 actually, but starting to kind of rebound some for AGRX. Matthew, man. So we don't like telling people what to buy. We just really let people watch us trade, and so we kind of stray away from telling people what specifically to buy. All right, there's a nice drop on NBEV. That's what I was looking for. Still in it though. Gonna let it try to work down to those lows before I take a profit. Down 63, 62s. All right, I'm gonna take a profit here, 450, and I'm just gonna let the rest work. I'm just gonna hold the rest. You know, I took profit at this support at 660. If you could see where that previous support was, down to 58. Looking good. Just gonna let the rest work. Down to 56. Hey, cool. You and I got in the same stock, man. Got in the same at the same price and everything, brother. I got in at exactly 673. So we're in the same trade essentially. So you haven't jumped into anything yet today, Mitch?
Nothing yet, man. Staying patient now.
Yeah,
You know,
no
I got
stress.
really emotional after AMRN and Tiva missing those. So one of the key things I did was just take my hands off the computer and just kind of watch.
I feel you. Nothing wrong with that, brother.
Got to be smart. Got to know when you got to relax and take it easy so that you can find the right chart to trade. Right now, top stocks I'm looking at are CORN, AMRN, I, and ITUB. ITUB, I would like it to just reject here 28s and start getting back below this, but it's looking like it's trying to break out long. I definitely need to see a rejection of these levels right here so that I could keep this stock on my watch. Does have resistance there at 27, and it seems like it's holding that resistance pretty well.
All right, I'm still holding NBEV. I'm going to let it test this level, but if it really breaks 665, I'll probably jump out just to keep the profits I have. Maybe look to add if it bounces back to the VWAP, but just going to give it that time. I said my profit target was 55, and I wanted to let it test, but if it can't crack 55, I'll get out for a small gain. Back down to 58, looking good. Just gonna let it work. Hopefully it cracks under 55. Down to 56. This is the important test here for this 55.
I like it, brother. Looks good. Looks good.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it faded nicely off of there, man. I think my entry was good. I think I did a good job at waiting for that entry. And so at this point, it's just about letting these last little shares work. And see if it can get under this 55 level. It's struggling to. And like I said, if it really cracks 60, 65, I'll probably jump out. Really, realistically, if it cracks
All right,
62.
guys. I'm short there off of ITUB. Really small risk off of 30, guys. I'm risking off of 30, guys, here. Right, got to really pay attention here to see what this bounce is going to do. Don't want it past this. Going to risk off a 30 here, guys. Would like it to reject 27s.
Here's 55s. This is kind of the big level. 54s. Gonna let it work here. 53s. Looks good. $52s. Looking good. 51s. Gonna let it test this 50 level. See if it actually breaks the $half and gets a quick spike underneath it. It's going to have some support here, and so I could see a bounce at 50s as well. I think that's to be expected to a certain extent. But going to let it test the $half because if it cracks under here with a lot of volume, I think it could come down pretty quickly here. But it's also very likely that it's going to bounce at the $half at that support, that emotional support. Beautiful. All right, I sold into the breakout. I sold at 540. And so really happy with that, or 640. So really happy with that. I let it work to my levels. I let it test the 650. And that's something I really have been working on. And it's something that I have had to really, that's kind of like the kryptonite in my game. I was telling the class yesterday is that I don't hold it to my levels. This one I'm pretty proud that I actually held it to my levels. Wrote it down from 673 to 640, so decent percentage gain there.
29's going through, guys. Got to be really careful here, guys, on ITUB. If I see anything go in through the 30s, I'll probably just snap out. 30s, I'm out, guys. Not going to take the risk in this trade. I'm out there. Small loss, $16 loss. Really small. Focusing on I here. If it doesn't break out past 90s, I might short it here, guys.
On IGC?
No, on I.
Here, if you want me to share your screen, I got you.
Yeah, just give me a second.
But yeah, I'm really happy with that trade. Cool. I don't think I got out too early. I mean, it's always a possibility that I got out too early, but I always try to sell into the breakout, and I think I held it to my levels for the most part. I got in at 73. Took a partial where I said I would at the support at around 655, 660, and let the rest work. Wrote it towards that breakout. I don't know if anybody heard me say that, but I remember saying if it does crack under 650, it could get a big volume spike down, and that's kind of exactly what happened. Once it cracked under 650, it quickly dropped 10 to 15 cents. And so I was able to take advantage of that and sell it into the breakdown, which is what you always want to do. And so happy with that trade. Definitely think I held it to my levels that I planned out before the trade. And so, yeah, I'll take it. Not a bad game. Hey, nice work. Cool. Good job, brother. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said before, I'm not really worried about how much I make. I'm just worried about getting in good trades. And I'm slowly starting to scale my sizing up. You know, I had a tough week or two before this, and so I think I'm just trying to get my confidence back a little bit. But definitely going to start using some larger sizing soon. I actually might get a student account just so I can use that bigger sizing, but we'll see. I'll either get a student account or I'll try to do like a small account challenge where I just kind of go for it with an intro account, and so we'll see. All right, so where's your risk, Mitch? Oh, you're not.
I'm not in yet.
Oh, okay.
Not in yet. Yeah, I only have one small loss there on ITUB, $16.
Why not? So I knew the big drop was going to happen there just because that's major support. Why not? I didn't actually know it was going to happen, but anytime, so what you really want to understand about these levels is that the biggest levels a lot of the time in technical analysis is the half and whole dollars. You know, those are the levels, the big mental levels that everybody is watching, the half and whole dollars. So like 650, 6, 7, so half and whole dollars are those big support levels that everybody's watching. And so a lot of people like to jump in short when they crack the $half, so when they break underneath it. And even if it rebounds really quickly, you know, a lot of people like to scalp it at those levels. And so in my mind, you know, if it breaks under 650, it could get a big volume spike that just pushes it down really quickly. And that's kind of exactly what you saw with that trade. A lot of times, though, the reason I got out is because a lot of times when they do crack those levels, they have everybody piling in when they finally break the half and whole dollar, but they also cover quickly like I did. And so that makes the stock actually bounce back really quickly. And it might fade back down, but that's basically, it's just a big support level is the half and whole dollars. And even quarter dollars like 75 and 25 are big mental support levels. Right, exactly. Cool. That's what it is, man. And so it's hard to it's a little tough to explain, but those are the most obvious support and resistance levels that I watch are the half and whole dollars. Just because a lot of times, like I said, people jump in and start piling in at those levels, and what you really want to understand about technical analysis in general is that it's all a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, the only reason technical analysis works is because other people think it works. And so you want to pay attention to the levels that everybody else are watching. Those are the levels to really pay attention to, because if people are following those patterns and those setups, it's going to have more momentum to go in your direction. And so by that logic, you want to look for those patterns and setups that everybody else is watching.
John.
Which one?
Look at IMGN. It's tradable for us. And man,
I remember IMGN. It's an old school stock. It's been moving. Like, I've traded it some in the past year.
It's down for the day. Pretty good.
Yeah, it looks to be fading off the VWAP a little bit as well. That was a fade, Silver.
All right, guys. I'm getting my little move there for I there. Didn't break out through the 33s there. Gonna see what happens here.
But yeah, Silver, the big difference between a fade and a rejection is that a rejection is when the stock is in a bullish trend, so like a rising trend. And when it breaks underneath the VWAP, it gets rejected after being in a bullish trend, so a rising trend. A VWAP fade is when it has a bearish trend, so it's a downward trend, like a downward bear flag. And then it bounces back to the VWAP and then fades off of it. And so just to show my screen again, if you look at it, it's in a bearish trend here. It fades back to the VWAP, and then it comes back down. Which was the, I don't mean to bring it up, but which one was the rejection that you missed earlier, Mitch? Just so I can give people an example of a rejection.
AMRN.
Yeah, and so to see an example of a rejection, hold on, to see an example of a rejection, you can look at AMRN at the top. And so in this one, right here is the rejection. So this one, it was in a bullish trend, so a rising trend. It faded back to the VWAP underneath it, pushed back up to it, and then rejected back down, if that makes sense. And so the only difference is the trend before the fade or the rejection. And so with a fade, it's a bearish trend, so it's already in a downward trend. And with the rejection, it's actually in a rising bullish trend before rejecting off the VWAP, if that makes sense. But yeah, don't stress it, Mitch, man. You've been doing really good lately, brother. Like, what is that, 7 green days in a row?
Yep.
So don't stress it, brother. You got this, man. Just losing days are going to happen, and, no stress.
Right, looking at this stock right here,
It's got a lot of resistance at 33.
There you go. Now I want it to bounce up right here, kind of reject here, and I can get in it. Don't want to get in it down here at 79 because I have to risk off of that 32.90 or above here, 32.99.
Yeah, I think that's a good risk. It had a lot of, it almost had, it really, if you look at the 1 minute, it had a triple top.
ITUB looks good again, but I'd have to risk off the same risk 30. Doesn't look bad, honestly, to reverse right back down to that VWAP and get below. But there's a little move on I.
So should I sell NBEV? I mean, are you long or short, Christian? And yeah, I missed some gains here, but I mean, you're never going to get the whole move. And I'm happy with the trade. I held it to the levels that I spoke about, that I gave myself. You know, the important thing with trading is that you give yourself certain levels before you even enter the trade. So you give yourself a risk level, a reward level, and you know, you got to follow those levels. And with this trade, I gave myself a risk level of 83 up here. Let me this was my risk level, and so from 73 to 83 was 10 cents, and my reward level was down here at 55, and so better than 2 to 1. Let's see, from 73 down to 55, yeah, around 2 to 1, but that's fine. My reward was 2 times bigger than my risk.
I think I'm off today by like a couple seconds. That's how it happens. Look at I think I missed it there when it bounced up here. I wanted it to get to 90 so I could risk off the high of day, but it didn't get there, and it was a good trade there. I knew it failed here at 33. Was looking for a bounce up here. Would look for a VWAP rejection that would be up there to 32.80s or 32.76.
True. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I left a fortune. I think I left about 20 cents on the table, but I got in. I made money from 73 down to 40. So I made 33 cents a share, and I missed some, but you're never going to get the entire move. I took the meat of the move, like Tim Sykes likes to say. But yeah, I could see this one fading back down all the way. The only I could also see, like insurance says, the pros, they actually add on these bounces, and that's something that Mitch and I have been working on, something that Mitch really brought up, and I think is a good way to approach these, is you take a partial and then you add it back when it bounces.
Yeah, it's called playing with house money, man. You take a big size and you take 3/4 of it off immediately at the first support, get yourself some house money, and then start adding to that position. It's always about adding risk when the position is working for you.
I know insurance, man. Wait. So yeah, Christian, it all depends on where your entry was, brother. It depends on if you're long or short, you know?
Missed that eye.
Yeah, I was watching. I didn't want to bring it up, but
yeah, man,
that's all it takes.
I'm a little bit off today, guys.
Your trade idea was correct, though. Your trade idea was correct, so you got to have
just
confidence.
Execution, I'm off by a minute today, guys, so I need to just relax myself. Because really, both trades are looking good now. Even that ITUB, I think it's good position that I got in. I got in at 26 off of 30s. And that's looking fine, too. I could take this on a VWAP rejection if it gets up there to 70s, 75s.
Which one?
For I. If it bounces all the way up here.
Yeah, I could see that. Look at AMRN and how much support it built around 1830. This thing is triple bottomed for AMRN at 1830, so if it actually cracks that, it looks interesting. Look at this beautiful triple bottom right here. Very obvious triple bottom on AMRN. Just over and over again, it's just bounced to that bottom. Yeah, so Christian, it all depends on whether you're long or short. You know, if you're long, it all depends on where your entry is, where your risk is, you know. It all depends, man. People of the book. That's tough, people of the book. Yeah, exactly. Why not? So fades and rejections are shorts, and bounces are used to go long. That's just how I describe them. You know, bounces are long plays. Like the VWAP bounce is like the opposite of the VWAP fade. You know. Yeah, I was also kind of bummed out I missed IGC. IGC faded off the VWAP really nicely today. I think somebody said they took advantage of it. It ended up reversing back, but it gave you a few entries. Like I said, I think I drew one here, right at the open, and then another one that didn't quite get to the VWAP, but it still faded almost 20 cents back down to these lows, over 20 cents, so missed that one. Yeah, IMGN, you said it's tradable?
Yeah.
It's still kind of hovering there. It's finding support at the $0.50.
Is Cara tradable? CARA?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it was previously. I know I traded this one before. Yeah, it's tradable. I see it, insurance. Listen, man. I caught the meat of the move, and so I'm happy with it. Even if it goes back down to 550, I'm still happy. I held it to my levels, and so you're never gonna get the entire move. I
The
got
key was how many shares did you get?
100.
Exactly. That's your answer right there. What do you guys want him to do with 100 shares?
Right, exactly.
Hold 20? Hold 10 shares?
Right, I already
There's
took.
no point.
Right, I had to take my profits into the breakdown, which is what I did, and that's why, like I said, I'm thinking about getting a student account just so I think, you know, I appreciate TradeNet's intro account, but I want a little bit more to play with just so I can take a little bit more size with less stress, you know. But we'll see. I might also do. Mitch and I have been talking about doing a small account challenge. Yeah, 100% addedly. That's the biggest thing I need to slowly scale into, because if you look at my P&L chart, my P&L chart's beautiful, you know. Like I'm really proud of my profit and loss chart, but it's hard to really get good gains. And it kind of just shows you how tough day trading can be with small accounts. You know, that's the biggest hurdle with small accounts, is actually having the room to feel comfortable taking larger sizing. If any BEV goes to 1 cent, I mean, of course, I'd be a little bummed out, man. You know,
I
maybe
wouldn't.
I buy it on the bounce. You know,
I mean, at the end of the day, you traded it short.
right?
You made some money.
I took advantage
That's
of it.
all.
Right,
That's
like
it.
I took the meat of the move for the most part. Like I got out at 640, got in at 73. So realistically, I got 33 cents a share, which is decent. I'll take it for sure. I'll take that any day. You know, you're never gonna get the meat of the move, and the longer you hold a stock, the more. The more risk you get of it actually bouncing back. But NBEV right now is what we call an all-day fader. And so if I had a different account, I might hold this one all day and let it fade. But you can see the move I took was, let's see. I took this move right here, that's fun. Missed about half of it, but like I said, I held it to my levels. I planned the trade out before I got in. I got in at 73, set my risk at 83 for 10 cents, set my profit target at 50 or 55 for a 2-to-1 reward to risk trade. And so I'll take it. I held it to my levels. That's what I'm really trying to work on. Look at AGRX right now. AGRX is fading back down. Maybe fill some of this gap here. It couldn't hold over 1. And especially with these really cheap stocks, like we were mentioning earlier, the whole and half dollars are some of the biggest support and resistance levels, and this one just couldn't hold over 1. Yeah, 100% Netron. I think it's definitely a shorter's day. I'm seeing a lot of washouts. Yeah, there goes AMRN. I don't know if you guys heard me, but AMRN, it had that triple bottom here at 1830, and it finally cracked underneath it, and it just tanked down to 18. Big wash. Look at that volume spike, because everybody's watching. Whoa, see, look at that move too. And so this is another one I called out. Like, if it cracked underneath 1830, I said it looked interesting, just because everybody's watching it at these levels at this point. Everybody is looking at this 1830 support that it's bounced off of 3 times, and so when it finally cracks, everybody just piles in this trade going short. It's also
interrupt you, but I'm in on ITUB, guys.
Okay.
I'm risking off at 32, guys. Needs to reject 31s here.
All right, I got your screen up.
If we can reject 31s here and not get above this, then we can get this move right back down here to this VWAP. Above 32, and this can break out, so I got to be careful here, guys. $31s. $32 showing up there. Let's see if they get filled. A lot of share size up there. 33 showing up on the ass. No shares going through there though.
Sorry, let me pull up I on my charts. Oh wait, you're an ITUB. My bad.
Yeah, an ITV. Might just stop out here, guys. All I need to do is just see anything really go through on those 33s. Not really seeing it, but seeing some volume going through there. Not liking this. Very small volume went through there on 100 shares there.
What's your risk level? Oh.
I'm gonna be getting out there, guys. I'm just not gonna go ahead and take this risk, seeing as the pattern is not really paying off for me. Just get out there, guys. Keep my losses small today.
Yes.
And get on out of here.
And considering what you made in the last 7-day green streak, brother, $44 is tiny, man. You're fine, brother.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, today's a classic day, guys, of why you cannot miss. My execution was off, and I should have been up really good in the day. Called out 2 perfect trades earlier. Whenever that happens, execution off, as you can tell, this is what happens. You start trading these C plus setups and then lose. This is exactly what I did here. Traded a C plus setup and lost, guys.
Don't stress it, brother, man. Listen, you went on a 7-day win streak, brother. And even if you don't come back from today, brother, losses are always going to happen. But I'm a little jealous you went on a 7-day win streak regardless, brother. So, no stress, man. Be happy, brother. You've been doing extremely well, man. And so you got this.
It is what it is. It's just really upsetting. I mean, when you look at AMRN, that's the kind of trade I want to be in.
The rejection earlier? Or the...
I mean, look at it.
Yeah, no.
The daily chart just supports it, guys. And that's when the stock that I should have been in the first place wouldn't have been able to really tackle that first move down. Would have been able to take half of it off there, made a big gain, then look to tackle this later on in the day. And as you can see, it's really breaking down. Reason being why, the daily chart's helping it out.
Yeah, for sure. And
this is one of those stocks that just really upsets me, guys. This is one thing that's going to, at least from on my level of skill, it's not necessarily when I lose. Losing is normal. I'm not upset about losing. I'm upset about missing.
Yeah,
missing
sure.
is what's the worst, especially when you know what you're looking for. After this move down here, I was looking for anything above here to risk off of this 880. I got this little move up here to 70s, but I thought I was going to be able to get 75s. Got a little too picky. Wasn't able to get this first move down. That would have been able to give me a nice little profit to be in the green to go ahead and then tackle this area here. It's just how it goes. Another stock that I missed was called this breakdown here in this area, 88s.
Adelie's saying fruit roll-ups are good.
Yes, fruit roll-ups are amazing.
They're fire, bro. Listen, I got 2 kids, dude. My wife brings home gushers or fruit roll-ups. I'm automatically getting half of them, just to bring the mood up a little bit. Somebody's asking, then what is an A+ setup? It all depends on your strategy and the pattern you're trading. We went over it yesterday in yesterday's class, but it all just depends on what the pattern is. When you backtest a setup, you're going to see certain conditions that work well for the setup. And when all of those conditions are there, it's an A+ setup. If all those conditions aren't there, it could be a B, it could be a B-, a C setup. And so it just depends on if those conditions that for that strategy that you've noticed when backtesting are there. What made you start looking at NBEV today? Also, why did you look at ITUB in the first place? ITUB, I think it had a good daily chart. Let me look. The reason I looked at NBEV is just because it did what it followed the pattern that I look for with the fade. And so with the fade, I look for a big drop at the open, a bounce back to the VWAP right here. This is where I entered the trade right here, and then I look for a follow through back down. So it's a bear flag with a pullback to the VWAP is what I noticed on NBEV. The reason it was on my watch list is just because NBEV has been moving almost every day. It has a lot of eyes on it. A lot of people are watching it. Same thing with AMRN, IGC, ITUB, and everything else. And so it just depends on how much volume it's had in the market lately and how many people are watching it. Because with technical analysis, you need volume for follow through. And if it doesn't have the volume, the chances of you getting squeezed out are pretty high if the volume's low. And so I just look for good volume and a follow through of my pattern.
See if I still had some risk. This is probably where I would hammer down on I. Then you can go ahead and you can risk off of that 85 area. 15-cent risk for a potential 38 cents or 30-cent winner.
Hey, appreciate the sub, Snipper and Kabush. Appreciate it, OC. Appreciate the subs, guys. Welcome. But yeah, no stress, man. Listen, bro, I'm jealous of you right now, Mitch. You know.
No, it's more.
You're disappointed.
It's just another day.
Miss?
Yeah, there's one thing that I judge myself on, guys, and I don't have to judge myself on realized or unrealized anymore. I don't even kind of pay attention to it, guys. All I do is pay attention to my execution, and execution was off today, so I'd give myself a red for the day, and that's why I'm red. It's not nearly because I wasn't there, I wasn't ready, just missed a couple stocks, and when you're off on execution, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna make the trade on the wrong stock, and that's what I did today, guys.
No stress, brother. Listen, you're doing great, man. Doing better than I have been, that's for sure.
This is part of the game.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, appreciate the sub, Russ. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it, man. But also, if anybody's interested in signing up to TradeNet, which is the broker Mitch and I are trading on, I do have a link that will get you 20% off the intro package. I talked to TradeNet. They're actually going to let the sale go on until the end of October, and I seriously did not know that. But there's the link. We do make a small commission from it, but if you want to help support the channel, you can go through our link. Or if you have any questions about it, you can let us know, or you can reach out to them through that link. And like I said, if you have any questions about it, let me know. Also, our first class went really, really well last night. You know, I think it had some good value. And so if anybody's interested in checking out our site, we do have a free strategy section if you're interested in kind of learning about the strategies that Mitch and I use on a daily basis. We really put our all into this site, but you can see you can go to the strategy section here. There's short patterns, which is what I trade mostly. It goes over the VWAP fade with a breakdown, gives you the keys to it, showing you how you set it up, analyzing the extension level and trade execution. We also have a long setup as well, or a long strategy section as well, is just a strategy video library that has a lot of different you know, talks about strategies that we've gone over on YouTube. There's also a broker review section to where if you're interested in looking for a no PDT broker, we kind of review them here, just the brokers that we personally have used. Thus far, we have TEFS and TradeNet, SureTrader and UStockTrade. I needed to add some. I was supposed to add some this weekend, but I got too hyped for those UFC fights. And I know AA asked, what do we feel about those UFC fights? Like I said, man, I called out. My prediction for those fights was that Habib was going to dominate McGregor, and that's exactly what happened. Really, I think I predicted a second or third round Kimura, and he almost did it too. He had him in a Kimura in the second or third round, but he got out of it. But yeah, really interesting fights. Shocking to see the end, but a really good card. You know, if there was one fight card that was worth the money, I think that was it this weekend. But yeah, here, if anybody's interested in our site, let me go ahead and post that link. Go check it out. Yeah, remember that Tiny? When he got him almost in the Kimura in the second round, I got really excited. I didn't even have any money on it or anything, but just the fact that I was almost right with it was cool. But yeah, he tapped him out, which is what I thought would happen. Look at NBEV now. It's kind of pulling back to the VWAP. Right, the fight after the fight, John. Oh, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Dylan Dennis was talking smack to him the whole time. And so, you know, Habib, man, he wasn't playing, you know. Yeah, so was I, Tiny, you know. It was fun to watch, man. It was for sure fun to watch. How about that Derek Lewis fight, too? That Derek Lewis fight was crazy. I was jumping up and down for that one when Derek knocked out Volkov. Crazy, crazy, man. Good night, though. Good night of fights. Huge MMA fan. I love MMA. I watch, like, every single card. Yeah, I thought that was kind of messed up that they withheld Habib's purse for that fight. I thought that was kind of screwed up, especially considering all the antics that Conor did leading up to it, like the bus incident. I thought that was crazy. Yeah, that Derek Lewis interview was legendary. Why not? That was legendary, man. It's always funny listening to Derek Lewis, man. The dude's funny. But I told my wife before that fight that every single time Derek Lewis fights, you almost always think he's going to lose. And then he just pulls that win out of his hat. He pulls those knockouts out of his hat towards the end. And he did the exact same thing. My wife was like, yep, you were right. And so, crazy night of fights, man. I really love the promo that John Malkovich did for it, though. That promo was legit. You know, he needs to do it with all of them. What's up, Morgan? eBay? Let's check out eBay. Whoa, look at eBay, man. That thing just went straight up. Not even a red candle for what is this? 11 minutes with no red 1 minute candles. It's crazy. But the thing has just gone straight up since. To look to see if some stocks are tradable, Abby, you go to the trade manager and you can just type it in. So like if it's tradable, it will say something like, it'll say Y under tradable. If it's not tradable, like GEVO, it will have an N under tradable. So it will tell you here. And if it's tradable, it's shortable. But if it has either an N under tradable or nothing, then it's not tradable. If it has a Y under tradable, then it's tradable and shortable. Yeah, we'll see if they have a second fight, Morgan. I don't know, man. Conor got pretty. He got beat pretty. There's not really any question that he got beat. It wasn't really competitive from what I saw. And listen, like I kind of like Conor. I kind of respect the fact that he can hype up fights that well. But I don't think it was a competitive fight. I think Khabib just dominated him the whole time. VTVT, John? Okay, let me check it out. Sorry, when I start talking about MMA, I get really excited. But yeah, look at VTVT. A few nice little VWAP bounces here. So like if you want to see what a VWAP bounce is, it's essentially the opposite of a fade. Really nice one down here over this $half. And you can see this is why $half are important, because that's big support levels. And so for instance, you can see it flagged over the $half, pulled right back down to 350, and then bounced really nicely. And so the VWAP bounce is essentially the opposite of a fade. What's up, Morgan? Hey, appreciate the support, man.
All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Going to go grab some lunch, celebrate how I've been doing. Regardless of today's result, I'm definitely happy with my trading over the last 2 weeks. Now I would be, I did get a nice win yesterday. So that's now 8 out of the last 10 trades green. 8 out of the last 10 trades green. So I'm not going to stress that, and I'm just going to go ahead and continue on and be ready for tonight. I'm excited about the class for tonight. We're going to go into risk and reward. Really, I think the determining factor between beginning traders and profitable traders. Tonight is where you'll learn how to separate yourself from just about the 10% from the 90. You know, we're all a part of this 90% that loses, and we all want to be a part of this 10% that wins consistently. How do you begin? How do you get there? We're going to speak about that tonight.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, excited for tonight's class. Really excited. Risk reward is something I've been a big proponent of. I think that's really what kind of helped both Mitch and I turn the corner in our trading and start to show consistent profits. And it's because before we get into the trade, as you guys can see here, we analyze the risk and reward of these stocks, and it's hugely important. It might not seem significant, especially if you're just getting started, but we can't understate how important it is. And so yeah, that's going to be going on tonight. But yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of you, man. 8 out of the last 10 days, or 8 out of the last 10 trades were profitable, brother. So nice work lately, man. I still have to add the VWAP bounce to the site. Why not? But I'll be doing that soon. Right now, I think the long setups we have on the site are 1 minute pullbacks and washout longs. And I think those are both viable strategies as well if the risk to reward is there. But the next one I have to add is the VWAP bounce. I've been a little busy lately. It's been a little hectic with everything going on. But I'll try to add that within the next day or so for you. Why not? I do have a walkthrough of the VWAP bounce. Why not? Let me find it for you, bro. I'll send it to you. Hold on. I'll post it in the chat. Let me find it. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I do have a walkthrough video on the VWAP bounce. Here, I'll post it in the chat. Here's the walkthrough. So this video that I just posted, it kind of walks you through what I look for with the VWAP bounce and kind of the different conditions that I look for. And so if you're interested in learning about the VWAP bounce, you can watch that video. Also, like I said, if anybody's interested in signing up to TradeNet, they do still have that 20% off the intro package sale going on right now. And I'll post that link. The biggest flaw of TEFs and TradeNet, I try to be honest with people, is that some stocks are not tradable. Like today, we had a decent amount that weren't tradable. But also, as you can see, we usually can find some to get into and trade with. And so it's not a deal breaker for me, but you do want to understand that specifically, most of the time it's cheaper stocks are not tradable, especially stocks under $1. And so you do want to understand that. But the way it works is, you pay for one of their packages and you pay for it. It's not a deposit. And with that, with the intro package, which was $500, they give you $14,000 in buying power with a $700 max loss. And so if you go under $13,300, they close your account down, and any profits over that $14K, it's a 70-30 profit split. So for instance, if I bring my account up to $15K, I keep $700, they keep $300. Commissions are ridiculously cheap as well. They're about $3 for a round trip, maybe a little bit over $3 for a round trip if you're using less than 250 shares. And anything after that, it's 0.006 cents per share. Actually, I think it is actually 0.0075 cents per share. But regardless, still really cheap commissions. If anybody's interested, you can check out that link there. We make a small commission from it, but it's one of the ways we keep the stream and everything free, so go check it out. And yeah, good luck for the rest of the day. Morgan, so it's 5 days a week, like Mitch said. And so yeah, you can check it out at the site. I'll go ahead and post that link here if you want to check it out. But regardless of whether you sign up or not, there's still some free strategy sections, broker reviews on the site as well. So go check it out. But yeah, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll see you all all the students. We'll see you all tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and really excited for our risk reward class tonight. And everybody else, have a good day. I'll see you all tomorrow morning, same time as always, 7:40 a.m. market time. If you want to do me a favor, click that like button right now on this video. It does help support us. We appreciate any support we can get. And yeah, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll see you all later. And thanks for watching, guys and girls.